Hello, my name's Martin Fish and I'd like to introduce you to the new Cobra wheeled vac. And this is it, a good size hefty machine, ideal for large gardens for clearing leaves and debris off lawns, but also great on large paved areas and driveways for getting rid of all that debris by literally sucking it up. And it's powered by a 159cc Lonsin engine, so lots of power there. And it basically works by everything being sucked in at the front there. It goes underneath. There's a large steel impeller that chops it all into very fine particles, and then it blows it into this collection bag at the back here. This holds 150 litres, so it's a good sized volume, and it's easy to empty. There's an access door at the back that simply unzips to take everything out. And one of the other features with it is, if it's a dusty environment, it can often clog up with the dust. So it's got two zip side flaps here. Open those, it gives it more airflow and makes it much more efficient at collecting everything that you're sucking up. Looking at the features on it, it's got various heights that you can adjust it. So it always comes on the lowest setting. So if you've got a very short grass, then you could have it low, but usually you would lift it up a couple of notches to get the leaves in, and you can go up to this height here. So if you're collecting a thick layer of leaves, you'd want it higher so that it doesn't block and they all collect in here. It's also got these little rollers on the corner. They're just for protection. If you hit a post or a wall, instead of damaging this main body, it just takes the impact there. So that's really good. As I said, the engine is 159cc, so that's powerful and really easy to start. There's no choke, there's no primer. We just literally put the throttle forward and pull it, and I'll show you how to do that later on. So the controls are all on the handles here. So we've got the throttle here, so it's very easy to use, and I'll show you when we start it, but it's essentially you push it forward for more revs and you pull it back for less revs, and all the way back to stop it. So that's very simple. And then we've got the two red handles here. The first one is used if you're using the roller or the scarifier attachment, which again we'll look at in a minute, and the bottom one you would pull back to put it into drive, because this is a self-propelled machine. You don't have to push it, it does all the hard work for you. So let's show you how to start it. So I've got my throttle set about halfway. There's no choke, we don't have to lift any handles, it's just pull this. And of course, if the engine's cold, it might take a couple of pulls to get it started. So to stop the engine, we just pull the red lever back fully into this position. Just a little tip as well, when you are using this red lever has to be pulled up. And this, as I mentioned earlier, is for when we're using the scarifier and the brush, which I'll show you in a few minutes. And this is the one that makes it go forward. This is the self-propulsion one. Just a little tip, when you are maneuvering it around corners or turning, you can ease that off and then just twist it into the new position and then pull it up. It just gives you a little bit more control and stops it running away with you. And although we've only managed to suck up a few leaves because it's not autumn yet, but if I just, those leaves we've got, as you can see, chops them really, really finely there. So this bag holds a tremendous amount of leaves. And again, always make sure that that is zipped all the way up before you start it again. So let's have a look at some of the optional extras that you can buy. And this one is this hose attachment here. And this is ideal if you want to have some control and be sucking in gullies or in corners where you obviously can't get the machine. So how it works is very simple. It goes on to this piece here. So there is a baffle plate that you need to fit, and the baffle plate slides underneath. So if we lift it onto the maximum height, here there is a groove, and this lines in with it like this. So we're going to slide that underneath. That just basically stops it sucking up. So just push that firmly into place like that. So that stops anything being sucked up in underneath. And then what we do with this we can just twist this opening here, obviously make sure the engine is off, and then we've got a little lug top and bottom that fits into these little slots just there. So we just line it up like that, and then using this little piece here, just clockwise until it locks into position like that. And then obviously when we start our engine, we can then go into the gullies around the edge of the lawn or around the corners of the patio and suck all that debris up. The handle can also be extended, so you've got a longer reach with it there, so that's really easy to extend. And if you're using this in different parts of the garden, rather than having to keep taking the hose off and refitting it, then what you can do is simply just take the baffle out like this, and then that hooks underneath this frame here, so it just sits into place like that and goes down, so it's hooked on the top there, and then your hose will just simply hook on like that, and it means you can then move this to another part of the garden, and it's great when you're storing it as well. The other function of the hose is also a blower, great if you want to blow leaves into a corner to collect them, and to do that we do need to take off the collection bag here. So it's connected to the back here, so literally we just slide that out like that and just put that flap back down, and that will then lock into position. And then we unhook the bag here and here, and then it just simply slides off. We just take these little rubber flaps off that hold it onto this bar, and then that just slides off. And that's also another way that you can take it and empty it on the compost heap. And what we do then is we take our hose here, and we just simply attach it to this end here. So this is the flap that's used where we attach when we're collecting. That locks into position like that. Again, that slides round and we line it up like that, twist that into a lock in position, and then when we start the engine, we've got a powerful blower. Two other attachments that you can purchase that are compatible with this are a scarifier and a brush, and these are really good for turf care, keeping it healthy. The brush will actually brush up any debris and it will suck it into the box, but it also helps to lift any flattened grasses, so it lifts them before you mow and gives a better finish. So that's something you can do on a regular basis. Or we've got the scarifier, and the scarifier again will lift the grass but pull out any dead thatch, dead material that's built up there, and at the same time it will then suck it back into the box. So really easy to fit. So what we do is we tilt the machine backwards like that, and then underneath we've got the attachments here and here. So at this end we've got a square which this fits over, and this little round piece here fits into there. So it's really simple to put in. So we just slide that onto there, put that into place, push it tight into there, and then there's a little lever here at the front. Just pull that forward and it locks it into place like that. So that's nice and solid. You shouldn't be able to pull that out. To take it out, again, we just pull that lever and it will loosen it out. So we'll put that in there, lock that into position like that, and I can show you what it does when we run it over the lawn. When we're using the brush or the scarifier, we need to be mindful of the height of cut, which is here. So obviously if it's on the lowest, it's going to dig in a little bit more. If it's too high, it won't do anything. So it's always best to start a little bit higher and lower it down to what you want so you don't damage the lawn. So starting is the same, but this time we also use the other lever. This first lever here, the first red lever, is what actually engages that in to make it spin round. So we can start it spinning and then we can pull in the drive lever to go. So let's start and away we go. So we can swap the brush now for the scarifier. So there you have it, the Cobra wheeled vac, a great piece of equipment that's got many uses all around the garden. And just to finish off, we've just only gone up and down a couple of times with the brush and the scarifier, but as you can see, it is taking quite a lot of the old grass and thatch out there. So it really does help to improve the quality of your lawn with regular light scarifying.